guys, and welcome to my evening routine for my 6 horses. So now that it's spring, I have 3 horses that live in and 3 ponies that stay out. So I'm going to go through my entire evening from start to finish with everything that I do, including feeding them, bringing them in and stuff like that. So you'll notice that I already have 2 horses in, so I have Chili here and I have Lucy there. So Chili and Lucy are not retired, unlike Danny who comes in. So they are ridden in an afternoon and then left in because there's no point turning them out for an extra hour. So they stay in the stables from having been ridden earlier on. So the first thing I do on an evening is get these guys fed. So my horses' feeds are pre-made up in the morning, so all I have to do is add water to them, apart from Chili's. So Chili has really severe allergies, so he has 3 feeds a day, but we just use 1 bucket, so I'm just going to make his up now. So for Chili's evening feed, he gets a small handful of Denji Healthy Tummy Complete Fibre feed. This is what we feed all of our horses. And then he has 10 Piriton tablets. This is why he has to have 3 feeds a day, because he has to have 10 tablets 3 times a day for his allergies. So I just crush these up in a spoon. You can only really fit 5 tablets on at a time, so I do this twice. And then I just add a little water, because obviously this is only a very small feed, and I mix it all together. So once Chili's feed is made, it's then time to mix the other horses. So Lucy and Danny's feed get mixed. Danny's feed has already been pre-soaked, so he has nuts in his, so they are soaked during the day, because with him being an older boy, he struggles to eat them otherwise. So his is nice and soft already, and then I just add a little extra water. So the horses that are fed first are the ones in the stables. So Chili gets fed first, because otherwise he's a little drama queen. Back. Go back. And then it's Lucy's turn. So our horses are fed in accordance to how much work they do. Lulu. So once I fed the 2 horses that are in, I move on to Danny, and I just set his stable up ready for him to come in. So I first pop his feed in, and then I take down his hay net. So we empty the hay nets on an evening just so that the horses can eat from the floor, because it's better for their neck. And also Danny is fussy and he doesn't like eating out of hay nets. So once that's all set up, I grab his head collar, and then I take the other hay nets down to the horses that are still out. So at this point I'm just giving the ponies and Danny their hay nets. I don't feed them just yet. I come back down with their feed separately, just because normally there's 2 people doing our night routine, so this is the routine the horses are used to. Normally one of us will be feeding the ones at the top while someone else brings down the hay nets, so just to keep it the same, I've just done it separately. And again, we empty out all of the horses' hay nets. 1, because with the grass coming through they won't eat it unless it's empty, because they just see it as too much effort. They'd sooner eat the grass than eat their hay. And 2, because obviously it's more natural for horses to eat off the floor than it is to eat from hay net height. So Danny just gets a small hay net chucked out, even though I'm actually going to be bringing him in a couple of minutes, but obviously it's not that quick normally. And then it's on to my old boy Taffy. So if the evening is forecast to be a bit chilly, Taffy normally has a rug on, but tonight it was forecast to be quite mild, so he didn't need one. And then finally we have Charlie. So Charlie gets very excited when he sees his hay net coming. He can't wait to eat because he's a little piggy. So once I've emptied Charlie's hay net out for him, it's just time to bring Danny in. So Danny is our retired horse, hence why he stays out in the field and the other two come in and are worked. He had a very busy jumping career, which meant that he started getting lame, so we decided to retire him on vet's advice. So Danny now lives out his days quite happily in the field, and then he totters back up to the stables to have his evening meal and to stay in for the evening. So whilst Danny's enjoying his feed, I just pick his feet out and make sure that he's all okay. And that is Danny done for the evening. So he does this really weird thing where he eats and then he's kind of like puts it on his door, which is very annoying. So the next stage is to top up the water and to mix the ponies' feeds. So first up I mix Charlie's, and again he doesn't have too much feed, and then Taffy gets a little bit more with him being a little bit older, and again his is pre-soaked as well just because he is an old man, and Caramel gets a very small handful because she doesn't really need food, but it's kind of not fair if she doesn't get a feed when the others do. And then I just fill up my jug, clean my mixer and pop them back ready for the morning. So once all that's done, I grab my buckets and head down to the field to feed the ponies. So Caramel is first with her tiny feed that she really enjoys. And then the boys were waiting for me. They're always waiting for their feed. Honestly, my horses love nothing more than to eat. So while I'm waiting for the boys to finish their feed so that I can take their buckets up and clean them, I go around and check that there are no hay nets left out. I take any hay nets that the horses haven't eaten down, and then there's always a load of spare hay nets from the horses that we've brought in, so I just collect these all up in the barrow. By this point the boys are normally done eating and onto their hay, so I just collect up their buckets. And Caramel likes to make sure that she has licked her bowl completely clean before I confiscate it. And then I head back into the stables to put everything away for the evening. The first thing I do is pop the buckets out to be washed. And then obviously I have to go and grab the other 3 buckets from the horses that are in the stables. So because the night before this I'd given the buckets a really good scrub, I just rinsed out the buckets and just scrubbed the ones that looked like they had a little bit of dirt on them. My pet peeve is dirty buckets, so normally I give them a really thorough clean, but tonight, to be honest, I just really couldn't be bothered. So I just sort of rinsed them out and then chucked away the water. Then the buckets go back in the feed room, ready for the feeds to be made up in the morning, and then the lights then turned off and the feed room is locked for the evening. Now I go around and check on the 3 horses, check that they're nice and settled, check that they haven't done any poos in their stables. And there's always one that has, and it's always Chili. So I go and grab my big tidy and get rid of Chili's poo so that his bed's nice and clean for him for the evening. And then the last one to check is Lucy, so her stable was all clear and the only thing that I had to do was pop her kickball on. So there are all the horses checked. I then just quickly set the alarm and lock up the stables. So that is the horses evening routine done. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to subscribe and I will see you tomorrow.